the state of Missouri. Is that where you are, Mike? Over. Okay, Mike, I got you on the log. And I did look for you.
Hey, this is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and we've been playing around with this SDR this morning. It's already 9:15. We've been playing around with this thing since about 7 a.m. And the thing about these SDRs, especially the ones that are $100 or less, it can get pretty frustrating. In this particular one, this is the Soft 66 RTL3, which I did a couple of shows on not too long ago. This one has on the radio itself, it has a switch for selecting filters for the HF band. And the idea is the TV dongles that you get, number one, they need an up converter, which this has a built-in up converter. And number two, you can get a lot of spurious signals coming in from other frequencies when you're trying to tune HF. So this gentleman who designed this thing has attempted to fight that problem with using these filters. And there's basically 4 filters on this one here. And the problem is, for me, there's not any specific documentation for this. There is some pictures and some notation on his website about what the filters are, what frequency range, but another confusion factor is that the one I got is the same model number shown on his website, but the little switch has different nomenclature on it for each position. The one shown in the picture on the website is ABCD. This one is 0 through 9. So I've been playing around trying to figure out which filter is which, and it makes a huge difference. As a matter of fact, when I first got this thing and I figured out how to get the software, this is HD SDR, I had to get the software to talk to it, I wasn't getting very good reception. And the problem was I wasn't using the right HF filter. Now I'm talking about HF. I didn't have any problems with VHF because you turn it to the position where there's no filter. That's pretty straightforward. So on the website it shows several filter positions, and depending on what particular device you're looking at will have different ranges. Like the other one that I reviewed, which is the Soft 66Q, that's only for HF, and the numbering system for the filters is different. So anyway, for this one, I believe, and I'm still struggling with it, it's 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, 6, and 7. And the ranges are 4 is 3 kilohertz to 1 megahertz, 1 megahertz to 5 megahertz, 5 megahertz to 15 megahertz, and 15 to 28 megahertz. So theoretically, if I use that, I'm on 7.2 megahertz. I should be using position 6, which on the other device, that's position C on the switch. Okay? I may have lost you already. I've confused myself already, that's for sure. So anyway, I'll start this again. Turn the volume down. I'll turn the volume down. We don't need to listen to the audio. We can just watch the screen and watch particularly this right in here. So I should be in position 6, or, well, this is the other confusion factor. if you start at position 0, and I have to use a magnifying glass because the writing is so small. The LED associated with the filters is orange. You go to position 1, it's still orange, but it's a different band. 2, still orange. 3, still orange. 4, it turns green. And then it's green for the next 4 positions. That gets you up to 7. And then 8, it's red, which I believe that means no filter. You're using the VHF, UHF input. And 9 is the same. It stays red, and it starts over again at orange. So let me just figure out where I'm at. You can watch the screen and see what it does. So I'm going to go to the next position, which is still orange, and you see the signals are gone. And I believe that's 15 to 30 megahertz. So I've gone above the 7 where I'm at. So I go to the next position, and it turns green. So now the filters are starting over. So now it should be 3 kilohertz to 1 megahertz. I go to the next position, which is green also, and some signals start coming back. That should be 1 megahertz to 5 megahertz. And then I go to the next position, is where I want to be, which is 5 megahertz to 15 megahertz, but I'm in the green, the 4 green positions. So it takes a little playing to get this to do what you want to, but once you do, it works very well. So I had to make myself a little cheat sheet of going by color and by number. Because like I say, the first 4 numbers, 0 through 3, the LED is red. It then starts over as far as the filter is concerned, and the LED stays green for the next 4 numbers, and then it turns to red for the next 2 numbers. So that's how that works. The other things you have to do, as I showed in my previous video on reviewing this particular SDR requires an offset frequency because it's using an up converter to convert the HF bands up to VHF bands so that the original SDR chip on this device can hear those HF frequencies. So what you have to do is you have, on this particular program, HDR, SDR, you have to go to options, and then you have to select front end, RF front end and calibration. And then you have to come down here and select this option, SDR hardware on a down or up converter, and then you put the offset, and for this device, it's 50 megahertz. This is in hertz, so you have to put in 50 million hertz. You apply that, and now, let me close this screen, and now what you read here is directly what you're hearing on HF. Now, if you want to listen to the VHF, UHF side, you have to go back to options and click front end, and then click SDR hardware to connected to antenna. So you have to click that option. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind, because if you don't select the right one or the right offset, the radio is going to act like it's dead. Another thing you can do, although it's not as necessary, if you want to try to get this frequency correct, because these cheap SDRs, less than $100 SDRs, have some drift. So you have to put in a frequency correction, which you can do right here. And it appears, because I exited this program, it appears that the offset I had is gone. So I got to put it back in. So what you do is you go to a known frequency such as WWDV, and you tune it in to what you think the frequency should be, 10 megahertz. Then you may notice on the screen that it's a little off frequency. That's when you come to this screen and you adjust it so that on this screen you're right on frequency. So you can see here I'm at 7.249.1, which is probably not the frequency they're operating on. It's probably a little lower than that or a little higher. I'm not going to adjust it right now because I don't know what the frequency they're operating on. And WWV, both on 5 megahertz, 10 megahertz, and 50 megahertz, is basically gone right now. The band conditions are so bad. So anyway, that's another thing you could help tweak this thing in so the frequency you're dialing in here is correct. So my point is, these inexpensive SDRs and the software are not for sissies. Not for people who just want to turn on the radio, punch in a frequency, and listen to shortwave, AM, FM, whatever. This is for people who like to muck around. I think I said the right word. Fool around with their radios and their computer and experiment. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, as I said before, I didn't think this thing was working, but I fooled around with it, and now I got it working, and it's working great. Now, this big signal here is, I believe, something that's coming over from a local AM or FM station. Look at it, it is just booming in. So you're still getting some interference from local stations. The idea of the filters is to reduce that. Now look at that, it just went away. That's interesting, it just went away. So anyway, that's the show for today. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.